Also on the docket, Senate Banking Committee Chairman Christopher Dodd is set to unveil his plan to overhaul U.S. financial regulations. Senator Dodd, a Connecticut Democrat, is crafting the bill with Republican Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee and will hold a committee meeting in the first week of March to consider changes to the plan. Joining us now is David Reuter, a professor at Northwestern University School of Law. Professor Reuter, welcome to Bloomberg News. Always good to see you.
Thank you. Very glad to be here.
Professor, what are you expecting to come out of this committee hearing?
Well, I think the Dodd bill will probably follow the Dodd draft. We will see the proposal for a systemic regulator, but I'm not sure that the Dodd draft will suggest taking as much power away from the Fed as his first approach did.
What has happened between that first approach and now? Is it just politics?
I think it's politics. The Obama administration has wanted a council of regulators to take over a systemic regulator spot, and I think that's probably where they're going to go, although I would personally prefer an independent agency of some kind, because we ought not to have politics interfering at all with this system.
Well, speaking of politics, not only has that affected the shape of the bill, it's also affected the time that it's taken to even get to this point. There's been a lot of complaining that this is an urgent issue and it's not getting done quickly enough. How much longer do you think it's going to take before something is actually passed?
Well, I think it's going to be summertime. This has been quite a surprise that Dodd has come this quickly with his bill. And it may be that the Obama administration is pushing for conclusion, but it's a very, very difficult problem to get your hands around, and I think there'll still be lots of negotiation between the House and the Senate on this matter.
Professor, talk to us about trying to get your arms around this. There's the question of, there seems to be at least a growing consensus that maybe some sort of systemic risk regulator is needed given the aftermath of what we've been through here in the U.S. and the global economic downturn, but at the same time, there are others who are concerned because they believe it just creates another level of bureaucracy, and the cry has always been, whatever is broken, trust the government to make it worse.
Well, I share some of that, but we've had a situation in which the Wall Street people have demonstrated that their pursuit of greed and risk has no bounds. So I think the regulators have to step in and take measures which will put some risk parameters on the banks and in the investment banks.
And when you're talking about the regulator here, it looks like Dodd's proposal would have whoever is head of the Fed, whether it be Bernanke or future Fed chairman, would likely be in the number 2 spot, or not necessarily at the head of this systemic risk regulator. Do you think that's the right structure?
Frankly, I don't think the Secretary of the Treasury ought to be in charge of this regulator. My experience after the 1987 market crash, when I was chairman of the SEC, showed me that politics can really get into the regulatory action when you have an appointed administrator. So I would firmly hope that there can be as much degree of independence in that regulator as we can find.
David Reuter, a professor at Northwestern University School of Law, joining us this afternoon. Professor, thanks.